What's up YouTube, Dale here from Zephyr Wargames, and today I am bringing you an updated branded profile involving the brand new card of Duality. Now I know a lot of you are kind of convinced with this card, a lot of you are completely all in, and some of you have completely knocked it back altogether. I'm going to show you a build that can utilize this both defensively, aggressively, and show you the natural targets you're already playing in the deck anyway. And the cards that I've taken out for this are Dark Magician. Surprise no one for there. And then I've taken out the main deck of Draw and Lockbird, but you can adapt that to main deck any hand trap that you feel is going to be utilized for the format. So with all of that out of the way, please smash that like button, hit that notification bell, and subscribe so you don't miss out on any more upcoming content. We'll start head first with the monsters. I've gone back to 2 Fallen of Albaz. This will constantly keep changing. Sometimes 2, sometimes 3. It really depends on the mood that I'm feeling. So I've gone back to 2 on this one to keep the deck an equal 40, but the deck doesn't have to be an equal 40. It can be played at higher. It can be played a lot higher as well if you want to. I've then got the 1 Quem and the double Cartesia still. I know people are considering putting Quem to 2. You can do if you want to. The only thing this deck is really missing, for Duality anyway, is a dark level 4 spellcaster or a light level 4 dragon. And then it would be insane. Everyone would be maining it. One massive target is, of course, your Albion the Shrouded Dragon. Now, the reason this is such a good target is because you can now cheese out, and I've put a video before showing you all the different routes you can play with Duality and why it is so good. But you can actually tag that into a Sanctified Dragon a lot easier than having to try and Branded Fuse, send in a Spellcaster, or trying to Quem it or even Cartesia it. Still got the 1 Macoria. And then for the Bestials, we've still got the 1 Saronir and the 1 Lubellion. Lubellion is probably more effective because you can actually tag that out with Duality. That will then also allow you to get into any Dark Dragon, which there are some spice in the extra deck to kind of show you. But that isn't one you want to be relying on heavily. You can adapt it as and when you see fit. Some people are cutting Saronir, some people are cutting Lubellion. It's entirely up to you. I know I haven't got the 25th secret version of this yet. I'm not willing to pay the price it's currently at. I'm hoping it's going to go down. And then, of course, for the Despias, we are playing triple Luba, 1 Tragedy, and still the 1 Ad Libitum. Even though I've taken out Dark Magician, people will still be like, oh, you got a brick in the form of Ad Libitum. It's like, well, yeah, bruh, but like you fuse this off, you're getting double fuse. Why would you not want double fuse? Also, a very, very spicy touch to the deck as well. And I do advise you picking up Duality and Shadow's Light, is you can actually Shadow's Light, tribute a dark monster you control, special on a light monster from your deck or extra deck with the same original type and level. This can allow you to tag out into Yugioh, which is really funny. The only issue, or the reason I don't like this, is this can be ashed and it's not a quick play, whereas this is a quick play and can't be ashed. Apart from the draw effect can be ashed. Then for the hand traps, so at the moment it's triple Ash Blossom, triple Imperm, but these are basically 6 flex spots of if you feel you want different hand traps, if you feel you want board breakers rather than hand traps, then you can adapt it for that. If you want to main deck the Gimmick Puppet lot, you can do that as well. So entirely up to you, free reign. And then moving into the spells, we do have triple Deployment, triple Opening, and triple fusion. I personally feel this is relatively standard. The only one you could arguably be putting down to 2 would be opening and or fusion deployment, but I don't feel that you really would want to or need to. Then of course we've got 2 Nadir Servant. This is one you could arguably put up if you want to, or just cut completely. Some people play cross out. I still really like Nadir. Like the fact that it offers so much with Quem now is absolutely insane. It's the reason that I'm rocking 2 of it. And then, of course, we've got the 1 Branded Lost, the 1 Called by the Grave, 1 Red, 1 Foolish, 1 Gold Sock. Again, all pretty straightforward. And then, before we move on to the final trap, we are playing 3 of the brand new Duality. Now, the best thing about this is this card has dropped to about £10. Now, whether you are completely set on it as a branded player or if you are still questioning its involvement and effectiveness in the deck, I do advise you all to go and grab a playset. A playset of this for £30 right now, where it can sit in a binder where you're like, I don't know, I might try it out, I might not, compared to, oh crap, every branded deck is using this card, it's now £20 a copy, is a lot better. Now, I'm not saying, like, I know there are a lot of people that don't like this. One of the arguments people are putting is the fact it's not searchable. It's like, well, yeah, bro, Call by the Grave isn't searchable and you only play it at 1, yet we still play it. Duality is insane. So for those of you that don't know what it is, you tribute a light or dark monster to special summon a light or dark monster from your hand or extra deck with the same original type and level, but a different original attribute. So if you tribute a light, you summon out a dark. If you tribute a dark, you summon out a light. Now I feel that most people might be writing this off because they don't fully understand, like, a lot of people are visual learners like myself that need to visually see what targets you have before you justify using it. So as a quick preview, the cards that you are naturally playing in this deck that is a target for this already is Dragoon, that can come off the back of your very, very cool Dust Dragon. So that's your main target. That's like the only one. And then it's like, well, if you want to spice it up, what other options do you have? Well, Albion can also be tagged into. And you can also tag into Titaniclad, obviously not off of the Dust Dragon, but off of stuff like your Albion Dragon, can get you into Sanctifier, so can Lubellion, and then any Light Dragon level 8 can get you into Titaniclad. So you've got natural targets anyway. Some people might not be playing Ash Dragon, some people might not be playing the Albion Sanctifier Dragon. That's completely fine. There are other targets, and I have shown you that in a separate video that I'll link in the description below. So you can see all the different types of targets that are worth considering for this deck and where it can go. If that wasn't enough, you also have a very nice draw effect that can be used the same turn you fuse as well. So, you get to target a light and or dark monster in your graveyard, shuffle both into the deck and draw one card. The reason that is so good is it allows you to recycle your Mirror Jades, it can recycle you Lulu Warlifts if you want to, it can recycle Quintarises, your Striking Dragons, anything you're not banishing from the graveyard can cycle back in. Heck, recycling Albions is absolutely priceless and you don't understand the value of that until you do it. It's like the fact it's like, oh yo, I'm out of Albions because I've already gone through 2. It's like, yeah, don't worry, Duality, put it back, draw a card. Okay. And then the final card is Branded Retribution. So not much more needs to be said on that. Pretty standard. Moving on to the extra deck. So the extra deck is a little bit over the place right now. But we are, of course, playing 2 Mirror Jade. Pretty standard on that lineup, if you ask me. We are also playing 2 Dust Dragon. I haven't, again, brought myself around to get a second Starlight yet. I'd like to say it's coming, but I need to trade into it, really. So we're playing 2 of those. We're then also playing 2 Albions. So Albions are a great tag out target because it's a dark dragon, so it can get you into a dark light, which can get you into Lubellion if you want it to, but you're not going to get its fusion effect. But it will get you into Sanctifier. And the reason that being able to tag out your cards like Albion and like Lubellion is so important is because you tribute as cost. The why that is so important is if your opponent goes, okay, cool, you go Chain Link 1 Lubellion, Chain Link 2 Tragedy, and they go, oh, wait, Chain Link 3 Imperm, you can very easily go Chain Link 4 Duality. Not only will that let you put the Lubellion in the graveyard and tag out into a Dark Dragon, Titaniclad for example, but it will also then give you the ability to continue that fusion play. It's insane. Same for Albion. If they're like, oh no, Imperm the Albion, you go, okay, cool. Duality, tag this into a Light Dragon, and then continue your plays. Like, it's so good to just dodge that hand trap that the utility is second to none, in my opinion. Then for the other branded monsters, we do play the 1 Titaniclad. Now, obviously, keep in mind that if this is tagged out of with Duality, it won't get the attack boost. But the idea of tagging into this is that if you use it as fusion material on the field, you'll then get its graveyard effect, and that's going to allow you to get access to Quen, which is really cool. Albion the Sanctifier, and then, of course, the Striking Dragon. I still play the Striking Dragon. I still really like it as well. I think it's an incredibly good card that a lot of people kind of undervalue. Yeah. Then for the cards that aren't branded, but fit within the Despian, so these can come off of your Dust Dragon, so you've got your Lulu Warlif and your Quintaris. And the reason that Quintaris, I'll get there eventually. The reason why Dust Dragon is so good off of Duality is because you tag it out and it still ends up in the graveyard. So then because it's still in the graveyard, you still have the banish effect to get to these as well. You're not waiting for your opponent to try and kill it. Then, of course, you do have the 1 Guardian Chimera. Now, obviously, you're not going to Duality into this, but you can still do, still very, very good off of Branded in red. And then the final 2 cards as one great target is Red Eyes Dark Dragoon. Now, obviously, the one thing by not having Dark Magician in the deck is when you make Dragoon, you're only making it for the Omni Negate. You're not making it for the pop and burn. So make sure if you are facing a branded player that Duality's into this, that they don't try and pop and burn one of your cards. And it is only going to be there as an Omni Negate. Now, the last card is completely flexible. Your options do consist of stuff like Borrowed Furious Dragon, which is probably the most logical one. Another spicy one, which I showed you in the previous video, was, of course, Dark Magician, the Dragon Knight. But the one, just because I've got it, and because I can, that I'm going to spice and profile in this one is the Dark Magician Knight of the Dragon Magic. Now, this is the brand new card that came out alongside Duality in the Battles of Legend. And if a monster, so if your monster, doesn't matter whether it's Dragoon, whether it's the Dark Magical Dragon itself, Lulu Warlif, Mirror Jade, it doesn't matter, attacks a defense efficient monster, you inflict piercing battle damage to that opponent. Then, once per turn, when your monster destroys an opponent's monster by battle, you can inflict damage to your opponent equal to the damage of that original monster's attack. So, insane. Gives you burn damage as well. It does have a secondary effect that if it's destroyed on the field by any means necessary, so if you wanted to combo this off with Borreload Furious Dragon, very funny, you could destroy this, and then this would allow you to special summon out a Dark Magician and a Gaia the Dragon Champion, which is very, very funny. But you're not going to do that. Very, very weird scenario to do it. But I just like the idea that this can come on the board as a Mac Daddy boss monster that gives everything piercing, and you're just like, okay, cool, boom, 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 boom. Basically like a UCT on steroids, would be my opinion. And that's it. Now, obviously, the Magical Knight is completely flexible, entirely up to you. I just thought it was cool. I'm going to be putting this in my Dark Magician version of the deck. I think it looks amazing, actually. Whether you get the Starlight or the Secret, it still looks really, really kind of cool. And the worst thing about it is the 25th logo is very, very faint. So, like, unless you're... I'll try and show you it on the camera, but it's one of them ones where you have to get the light absolutely perfect and the camera has to focus. It's very, very difficult to kind of see the 25th logo, so you can pass this off as a Starlight. So if you're already going to try and max out your extra deck, you might as well. And that is it, ladies and gentlemen. Very straightforward, very simple, very to the point. I am just currently highlighting how Duality can be utilised in the deck. I think it is a no-brainer to at least try it. I understand if it doesn't follow your playstyle or it doesn't follow your build because you only have one target in it, by all means. But do not write it off completely because you will regret it if you do not pick it up while it sits at around £10 and then people do decide to play it and you're like, ah, crap, I've got a card that isn't going to be reprinted in the near future anytime soon that's going to cost me £20 and I need a playset of it. It's silly not to play more than, not to play less than free. Anyway, that is it for the profile. Thank you so much for watching. Any questions, by all means, please put them in the comments down below. I will be more than happy to answer them for you. But for now, stay safe. And of course, happy dueling.